Welcome back to the 2-Minute 1, and today I'm taking a look at the Cleveland Browns and more specifically Odell Beckham Jr. and going over whether or not I think he can win Comeback Player of the Year in the upcoming 2021 season. But before we get into that topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. Where do you think OBJ will rank at the end of 2021 amongst wide receivers? Do you think he'll get back to top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20, completely fall off wherever you got him at the end of the upcoming year? Comment down below and I'll reveal my answer again. But getting straight into it, can OBJ win or Comeback Player of the Year? I think it's definitely possible, especially if the Browns actually turn out to be this baller team that we expect them to be. Maybe winning the AFC, maybe making the AFC Championship, maybe making a Super Bowl run. I feel like OBJ would definitely be a part of that run and bring a lot of success to that run. Would he carry it? No, not by any means. But if he's definitely a big reason, or at least a reason as to why they're doing so well, that could definitely up his case and resume to take home Comeback Player of the Year. A guy coming off an injury, needing a comeback season just for the Browns and his career in general. But it's going to be easier said than done for a number of reasons. The competition is out there. Looking at the amount of quarterbacks that are going to be in the running for Comeback Player of the Year is insane. Dak Prescott, he's a front runner. You got Joe Burrow, a young rookie or young sophomore, I guess, that the NFL loves. You got Carson Wentz looking for a rebound, Sam Darnold looking for a rebound, Jimmy G looking for a rebound. You got another receiver who is a top 5 receiver in the NFL, Julio Jones. You got some defensive players, Nick Bosa, Von Miller, Derwin James, and Neil Hunter. Competition's out there for the people that want to run and win Comeback Player of the Year. I'm not sure OBJ is going to do it. I do think it is possible, especially if Baker is going to be this top 10 quarterback that Browns fans expect him to be. But as far as just taking home of that award, it's going to be tough just because, A, the competition, like I said, but B, even if OBJ is in the running, and I've said this about other Comeback Player of the Year candidates, and a couple others I didn't mention on offense, is Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. People are going to love rooting for them, hoping they could bounce back. But furthermore, if OBJ gets into the Comeback Player of the Year conversation and he's in the front running or neck and neck with a quarterback, 9 times out of 10 the award goes to the QB, whether it be MVP, Rookie of the Year. If there's 2 players in one position plays quarterback and one position goes to anything else, running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive lineman, punt returner, whatever you want to call it, defensive player, it's gonna go to the quarterback 9 times out of 10. It's just how it is. You could call it rigged or you could call it fair, whatever you want. That's not what this video is about, but I'm just letting you know if OBJ's even close. But Dak Prescott's over there in the NFC East, winning the division, taking the Cowboys to the playoffs, or if Joe Burrow somehow made it out of the AFC North, which would actually affect the Browns, but you guys know what I mean, or Christian McCaffrey's rushing for 1,000 yards and receiving 1,000 yards again. It's going to be tough this year especially, but if you look at the quarterback specifically, it's just going to go to them. Even, for example, last year the MVP award, Derrick Henry ran for 2,000 yards. Only 7 other running backs have ever done that ever in NFL history, yet the award went to Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers didn't deserve it. I do think he deserved the MVP last year, but just the rare or just the fair example of how often it does go to the QB. Last time another position besides quarterback won MVP was in 2012 to Adrian Peterson, almost a decade ago. And I know this is a different award, and Comeback Player of the Year is, back-to-back years gone to receivers and Jordy Nelson and Keenan Allen a little bit ago. But those guys rebounded back heavy, and they didn't have 4 or 5 quarterbacks that the league just happens to love in the running at that time. So it's going to be tough. I'm not saying OBJ can't do it. A guy that was at one point in time a top 5 talent in the league, he has that potential now with Baker and the Browns and the help around him. Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, Austin Hooper, David Njoku. These guys are going to feed off each other. Kevin Stefanski winning Coach of the Year. Baker Mayfield having the best offensive line in the league. Having that type of coach, having that type of organization and brick wall of a fortress around Baker, it's going to allow a lot of plays to develop, and it could allow a lot of potential to be reached out for OBJ. And we see him rebound just as hard, if not harder, than any other player in the league. And therefore, it's possible because of the upside and raw skill he has. I think he can be in the running. It will be tough, though, because like I said, he's got to be a big part of the Browns' success. If they make it to the AFC Championship and yet he's under 1,000 yards for the year, not many people are going to be voting for him for Comeback Player of the Year. And I know if the Browns make the AFC Championship, Comeback Player of the Year is the least of their worries. They're not heading into this year by any means saying we got to get OBJ that comeback of the year award. He deserves it. That is the least of the Browns' worry. What they care about is about that ring on their finger. And I would too. I can't care less about a comeback player of the year award if I got a ring on my finger. But just for the video's sake, and obviously this is what the video is about, that's what I'm looking at specifically, comeback player of the year. If it was to be pinpointed around him winning it, for him building his resume, him setting up the accolades to take home the award, putting up over 1,000 yards, showing that he could be a top 5, top 10-ish. I'm not saying he has to be top 5. Top 5's tight. You got Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. That's 6, and that's hard to decipher who's the top 5. I don't expect I don't expect OBJ to be on par or top any of those guys in this rebound of a year. But I think he should be able to get up there as in right under those guys, and that could win him comeback player of the year, yes, but I don't think it's realistic to expect him to be up there with those guys again. To me, if he could be up there with those guys again or just right under, he can and will comeback player of the year, but it's hard for me to believe it just because this isn't the Browns team that's going to run through OBJ. Is it going to have him as their number 1 wide receiver? Probably, but when you got the best backfield in the NFL, best offensive line in the NFL, they're going to be a run-centric offense, and that's fine. Like I said, the Browns' least worries is comeback player of the year. They just want to win games, and I do think their running game can win them games. And, of course, I know past game's not going to be extinct, but you guys know what I mean. The starlight and the spotlight is just not going to be shining on OBJ and the Browns. It's going to be shining on how do we win football games, and therefore I think that will hold him back from winning comeback player of the year. And I just think it's going to go to the quarterback, like we said, whether it be Dak Prescott or Joe Burrow, Jimmy G, Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, whoever it is. I just think it's going to go to a quarterback like most awards do whenever it's close. But I do want to hear from you guys. Do you agree or disagree that OBJ can be in the running, but he'd have to really be a big part of the Browns' success and show that he can be a top 10 receiver again and really top a quarterback that's going to be rebounding hard? Between Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, Jimmy G, and who's the last one? Joe Burrow. There's a good chance not all of those rebound and all of those have a great comeback here, but at least I feel like at the bare minimum, 2 of them are going to come back pretty well, and therefore that might be enough just to knock OBJ out of the running because of how skewed it is towards the quarterbacks, but we'll see. And referring back to the question of the day, where do I rank OBJ amongst receivers in the NFL, or where do I think he'll be ranked by the end of the year? I think he could be top 15 again. I don't think he could be top 5 or top 10. I think that's really pushing it, especially in that run-centric offense, but I do think top 15 is definitely possible for OBJ at the end of 2021. As always, and of course, guys, I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. 2-minute warning.